Wondering how to deal with a bully boss at work so that you can get them to stop undermining you and backstabbing you and sabotaging you, insulting you in front of other people?
What do I say?
DanTheGunnerTraining.com.
You can't always take a stand. When it is time for you to take a stand, here is how you do it. And the reason I suggest this, I have many different ways that I would stand up to a boss. This one I believe was a good fit for this client, and I believe that a lot of people would benefit from this. So I'm sharing it with all of you in the hopes that it would benefit you if you need it, just like I hope it will benefit my client. Okay? Millennials, or people of that age, more or less, do a lot of HR involving. And they do a lot of not just HR, they will bring a coworker in with HR, with them to HR. Or they will bring a coworker in as a witness or something when they go talk to their boss.
Don't do that.
I'll tell you why. When you go to HR, or when you go to your boss, let's say, and you bring someone else in, and you start off with something like,
Well, I just wanted to clear the air a bit because,
and then you learn how to use the when you, I feel, because, so you start using feeling language.
And now you've got yourself something funky.
When Jan says XYZ to me, I feel really degraded and really demoralized, and I just, it's something that bothers me, and it prevents me from doing my best work, and, I just wish that she wouldn't do that, and I wanted to make sure that you were here, so maybe you could help us, fix this.
Here's what your boss hears.
Yeah, I was hoping that you could figure out a way to get me fired. So starting here in this meeting, maybe if you could take some notes and start planning a strategy, plan of attack that will help eventually land me out the door, especially because HR is a good friend of yours and I just don't know that. That would be great because I am looking to be fired. That's what's going on here. So make the plan.
That's what they hear. Capiche? Just FYI, if you're being disrespected by your boss, their level of respect for you is very low. So if having little talks like this are new to you, take some notes, bring some cards. Do not ever be embarrassed or second guess bringing in note cards to a talk like this. Do not bring in your cell phone. Do not take notes on your cell phone. Do not use your cell phone. Make sure that your cell phone is turned off before you go into this meeting, because if you go into a meeting like this and your cell phone even rings,
you're doomed.
So just keep that in mind, okay? Now this is where I'm going to get into defining the relationship that you have with your boss. Now I'm not going to get into how you call the meeting, how you sit down in the meeting, because you should have all of that from other lessons. If you do not, check out my other videos or check out my Step Out of the Shadows and Speak course that goes through all of the different ways to call a meeting, position yourself in a meeting. Fast forwarding through the meeting so that we can get to the actual situation where my boss starts calling me names. The words that I'm going to highlight when I respond to my boss are going to be words that came about and were originally discussed during this meeting. I thought you would like to know that so that it made more sense why I chose those words, okay? I'm now in front of other colleagues and my boss decides to say something like, yeah, well, as you all know, we lost the Jones project. Thanks, Dan. Right to you, and you're like, let's say that you did lose it, but you didn't want to be called out and humiliated like that in front of everybody. Do not let that pass. If your boss is going to engage in that communication in front of other people, don't stoop to that. Don't cause a scene. Don't take away from the meeting, but do respond to it. And a great response is to go back to the meeting that you had and think about the words that you said you were counting on your boss for. Something like, that's the type of leadership I should expect from you. Okay. And that's what you consider inspirational. All right. Or really turn the tables on them. And if it's in front of other people, say things such as, I expected a different attitude from you, and different loyalty for that matter. That's the type of leadership you display? I'm surprised. You're not saying,
F you, John.
You're not saying anything like,
You're the one who lost that.
All you're saying is, you're letting me down, and here's how. Respond, and I'll tell you why. Those are the moments that are turning points in our life. Those are the moments when you let other people down it can be disappointing. When you let yourself down, when you treat yourself, because you have a relationship with yourself. You listen to the things that you say to yourself. You pay attention to the way you treat yourself. That's a whole course into itself, but we pay attention to the messages we send to ourselves, verbally and non-verbally. And when you tell yourself, you're not worth it, you're not worth standing up for, those are the seeds of regret. That is what creates regret in life. That's what we look back on and think, in that moment, in those moments, had I just handled it differently, how could my life have been different? That was the beginning of me taking it. If it's the beginning, don't let that be the beginning of a cycle, because you will always be able to look back and hold your head up high and say, at the end of the day, when you answer to yourself or to your spouse or to your maker, to your father, to your mother, when you answer, did I do the right thing? You'll be able to say, yeah, I did. It's worth it. Okay? If you would like some one-on-one coaching to get some things more specific to your situation, make sure to click the link below for that. And if there are still some slots available, I look forward to meeting you there. And no matter what you say, remember the overriding message above all else. No matter what you say it in a loving way. You can do that. I can help. And no matter where you are, I hope that you have surrounded yourself with people that you love and that love you right back, because you deserve that. This is Dan O'Connor, signing off.